Wow, AI is absolutely everywhere you look these days, right?
It's been pretty wild, hasn't it?
It seems like it's unavoidable,
Yeah.
especially all the latest stuff about AI and video.
Yeah, definitely unavoidable.
It seems like every tech conference I've seen, from HubSpot's Inbound to, what was it, Dreamforce?
Oh, yeah.
Even Amazon's events have all had a focus on it.
hmm
Even YouTube and Snapchat had those crazy demos at their events.
It's been unavoidable. I think we're past that point.
It really feels like we're well past that point, honestly.
Yeah,
If I'm being honest, I think I have enough bookmarked AI articles to keep me busy for, like, the next year.
at least.
I know, right? It's a ton to take in.
Yeah,
That's one of the reasons we're here today.
absolutely.
You shared some seriously fascinating articles with us.
I can't wait to dive into this.
Yeah, and I've got our expert here to help us kind of unpack all of it and figure out what's truly like revolutionary, what's groundbreaking, and then what's maybe just hype.
Yeah, that's the big question these days, isn't it? What's actually going to change things and what's just a flash in the pan?
Totally. What I think is super interesting is it's not just potential anymore.
Sure.
We're seeing very, very like tangible advancements with AI, especially in the world of video.
Oh, for sure.
It's one thing to just talk about it, but then when you see AI generating a photorealistic video from just a text prompt,
It's mind-blowing.
it's mind-blowing. It's a whole different ballgame.
Yeah.
You might be thinking, okay, well, this is really cool, but like, how does this impact me? That's what we're going to dive into today. We're going to look at some specific AI video tools, how they work, and what they could mean for creators like you.
I'm excited to break it all down.
Me too. Me too.
Hmm.
So let's start with one that's been getting a ton of buzz, which is Runway's video-to-video AI.
Right.
So remember that like super shaky footage from your last vacation?
Who doesn't have that?
Right. Everyone has that.
Yeah.
Well, with Runway, you can take that footage and basically transform it into a sci-fi epic.
That is amazing.
I know. Imagine yourself like trekking across Mars instead of that crowded beach.
It'd be a lot more exciting, probably.
Right. It's like having a whole Hollywood editing suite at your fingertips.
Exactly.
It's kind of crazy.
It is.
It's wild.
Yeah.
And the remarkable thing is not just, slapping a filter on something. This is about real transformation,
Oh, yeah. This is deep.
like changing the entire look and feel of a video, potentially, with just a few clicks.
It's incredible. And it makes you wonder, like, what is video editing even going to look like in a couple of years?
Right. Like, is this the end of After Effects?
All right. I don't know. We'll see.
That's wild. And then it's not just special effects, right?
Huh.
Luma Labs has this motion brush, which sounds, honestly, like something straight out of a dream.
Yeah.
Like imagine taking a still image, maybe it's a family photo or a beautiful landscape,
Mm-hmm.
and you can bring specific elements of that image to life.
Oh, wow.
So you could make the leaves in the background like rustle, or you could have your grandpa in the photo, like give a mischievous wink to the camera.
That's so cool.
It's like having the power of animation without needing years and years and years of experience to do it.
Exactly. And that seems to be like the theme here is like, how do we democratize these tools that were once in the hands of, very, very few people?
Exactly.
And now it's like anyone can do it from their phone or their laptop, which is
That's the thing.
kind of incredible.
That's the thing, is it's giving these tools that were once inaccessible to most people. Now it's like anybody can be a creator, which is incredible.
Exactly. That's the exciting part.
Take Sing, for example. It's designed to be super user-friendly. So it's basically making AI video editing as simple as like applying an Instagram filter. It's
Wow.
putting that professional-grade video editing into the hands of anyone with a smartphone or laptop.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what we were getting at.
Yeah. And it makes you wonder, though, too, like, what does this mean for people who do this professionally?
That's a really good question. What does this mean for the future of filmmaking in general?
Right. Are we all going to be replaced by AI?
Are filmmakers and animators, like, out of a job?
Right.
Is that it? Are we done?
Who knows? It's hard to say. I think it's easy to get caught up in the fear of being replaced, but I think it's more about collaboration.
I like that.
Like these AI tools, they're powerful, but they're still just tools.
Well, they're tools.
Right. They're not the finished product.
Hmm.
So imagine like a director using AI to prototype scenes in real time, or like you were saying, like an indie filmmaker being able to create these big budget special effects without a big budget.
Total.
It's really cool to think about.
AI can empower creators on every single level.
Yeah. Exactly.
It doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to replace them.
Yeah, hopefully not.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah.
But, I mean, even for those of us who aren't making the next summer blockbuster, how might this impact our, like, everyday lives?
Well, that's a great, what do you think? A great question.
Yeah.
Because, if you're not making the next Marvel movie, what can you do with it?
Right.
I don't know. I think about like creating more engaging content for social media.
Oh, yeah.
You could spice up your work presentations.
Totally.
Maybe your family vacation videos could be a little more interesting.
Oh, for sure.
Oh.
Yeah, definitely more interesting than just the shaky iPhone footage.
Exactly, exactly. And that's kind of what's cool about all of this is AI is blurring the line between consumer and creator.
Really is.
And I think that's really cool. It's giving everyone the potential to tell their stories in more dynamic and engaging ways.
It's a brave new world out there.
It is a little scary, too.
It's very exciting.
Yeah.
A little bit intimidating, right?
Yeah, a little bit.
But we're entering this uncharted territory, and there's definitely going to be challenges.
For sure.
But with all of that being said, I think it's also a time of immense creative potential.
Yeah.
I'm very excited to see where things go.
Me too.
And it goes beyond just video,
Yeah,
obviously.
yeah.
It's really about AI becoming like a partner in our storytelling.
Yeah.
It's pushing those boundaries of what's even possible, which is awesome.
And maybe a little scary.
Maybe a little scary, yeah.
Yeah.
It's definitely a super exciting time to be a creator with all this new AI stuff. But I think with all this talk about AI's creative potential, it also makes you wonder about the potential downsides.
Yeah.
And that kind of leads us perfectly into our next topic, which is OpenAI's new O1 model.
Right.
OpenAI has been making a lot of noise lately with their advancements in AI, and the O1 model is no exception.
Yeah, they've been busy.
What makes this one so fascinating, I think, is its ability to go beyond just, like, computation. We're talking about an AI that's demonstrating real problem-solving and reasoning skills, right?
Yeah.
Like, it can solve those complex math problems.
It's kind of scary, some of the stuff it can do.
You can write code in seconds.
Yeah, I saw that.
Even compose different creative text formats like poems and screenplays.
It's wild.
It's wild. It's like we're on the verge of, like, actual science fiction becoming reality, which is kind of freaky.
Yeah, for sure.
This O1 model sounds incredibly powerful, though.
It is. And I think that's why OpenAI is kind of like approaching its development with, a balance of excitement, but also caution.
Right.
They have this independent governance board now
Interesting.
to oversee safety protocols and make sure that ethics is like a top priority.
That's good. That's good. But then you hear about people trying to jailbreak the model,
Yeah.
and it's like, well, are those safeguards enough?
It makes you wonder.
Because if people are already trying to poke holes in it, what does that mean?
Yeah, it's really interesting because I think it reveals so much about like our relationship with AI in general.
Totally.
You have this incredibly powerful tool, and it's like this natural human instinct to see how far we can push it.
Of course.
Even if it means like bending the rules a little bit or
It's that curiosity, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Like, what if we do this? What happens?
Yeah, what does this button do?
Exactly.
Exactly.
What do they even mean by jailbreaking an AI? Like, what are they trying to get it to do?
So essentially, it's about getting the AI to operate outside of its kind of intended parameters,
Okay.
Like sometimes it's pretty harmless, to be honest.
Right.
Like, they might prompt it to write in a specific style that it wasn't trained on.
Gotcha.
Like maybe they'll try to get it to like write Shakespeare or write a song in the style of the Beatles.
Okay, that's kind of cool.
Yeah, that's right.
I like that.
It can be pretty creative and fun. But then it gets a little more concerning, I think.
Oh.
When you have people that are trying to like manipulate the model's output, maybe access like the underlying code,
Oh, wow.
or even like feed it biased data to try to influence its behavior.
Oh, wow.
That's when it gets a little trickier, I think.
Yeah, so OpenAI is kind of walking this tightrope of, like, wanting to foster innovation, but also trying to, like, stay one step ahead of the people who might exploit it.
Exactly, exactly. And I think that's where this independent governance board is so important.
Right.
Because, they're tasked with, like, investigating any potential breaches, making sure that OpenAI is upholding ethical standards,
Okay.
and, just kind of addressing any unforeseen issues that might pop up as this technology is developing so quickly.
Yeah, it's like they almost need a team of specialists, like in a movie,
Yeah.
to monitor this super intelligent AI and make sure it doesn't take over the world.
It sounds like science fiction, doesn't it?
It does.
But it kind of illustrates, like, the very real concerns that a lot of people have.
Totally.
We're going into uncharted territory, right?
Yeah.
And we need these safety measures in place as we kind of venture into this new frontier.
Absolutely. We've talked about all these amazing things AI can do,
Yeah.
even some of the potential problems. But there's another really important side to all of this, right?
Yeah.
The ethics of it all. Because it's not just about what AI can do, it's about what AI should do, and I think even more importantly, what we as a society are comfortable with.
Totally.
It seems like every day there's a new headline about AI ethics, and it's hard to keep up with.
It really is. It's changing so fast.
Oh, yeah.
What's interesting to me, though, is it's not just like academics talking about it anymore.
Right.
You know, this is happening in courtrooms, legislatures, probably around your dinner table. Like, it's everywhere.
It's true.
And that's because we're seeing the real world implications of this stuff now.
Exactly.
And that's kind of forcing us to figure out, okay, well, what are the rules? What are the ethical frameworks that we're going to use to like navigate this new world?
Totally. And speaking of real world implications,
Yeah.
California just passed some pretty groundbreaking AI laws.
Right. They
Have-
did. California's always been kind of at the forefront of like tech regulation.
Right.
So it's not surprising that they're kind of leading the charge here. But yeah, these new laws, they're a big deal. And I think it sends a really clear message that AI development needs some guardrails, you know?
Of course.
Especially when it comes to protecting people from potential harm.
Absolutely. So can you give us like a quick breakdown of some of the key points? Like what are some of the things they're trying to address with these laws?
Yeah. So one of the biggest things is the regulation of deepfakes, especially ones that are used for, you know, malicious purposes.
Right.
You've probably seen those videos online where it's like, is that real? Is that not real? It's crazy how realistic they've got.
They're so realistic, it's scary.
Exactly. So now in California, creating and distributing sexually explicit deepfakes without the consent of the person, you know, depicted in the video is illegal,
Good.
which is huge.
That's a huge step in the right direction.
Yeah.
Because those are so harmful.
They are incredibly harmful.
So that's good. At least they're starting to try to, put some rules around that.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly.
What else? What else is in there?
So another big thing is around political campaigns and AI-generated content.
Oh, wow.
So any campaign that's using AI to make content, whether that's images, videos, audio, whatever, they have to clearly label it as such.
Oh, interesting.
So voters know what's real and what's made by an algorithm.
It's like that sponsored content disclaimer you see on social media, but for political campaigns.
Exactly.
That's wild.
Yeah, it's all about transparency.
Transparency, I like it. That's good.
Yeah.
It's interesting, though, because it's beyond legislation, too, right? There are other conversations happening,
Oh, yeah.
like using AI to recreate actors,
Mhm.
performers, even after they're gone, which is kind of a whole other ethical can of worms.
It is.
James Earl Jones, the voice of Darth Vader, he allowed his voice to be archived so that it can be used in future Star Wars projects.
Wow.
Sort of cool, but also kind of
It
creepy.
is kind of creepy.
I don't know what to think about it. It feels like we're entering this age of, like, digital immortality, which is a lot.
It's a lot to unpack there.
It's a lot to think about. What do you think? How do you feel about that?
I think on the one hand, it's amazing, right? It gives artists a way to kind of preserve their legacy
Right.
and potentially continue to perform even after they're gone.
Right.
Like imagine your favorite band could reunite for a concert, even if some of the members are gone, you know?
Wow, that would be wild.
It'd be amazing, right? But then it also brings up this whole other question of ownership and control.
Of course, yes.
Like, who gets to decide how an artist's likeness or voice is used after they're gone?
Right. And is
Yeah.
that ethical?
Exactly.
Like, to make a digital copy of a person, basically.
Yeah. And these are the questions we have to figure out, you know, as we go.
Yeah, and I don't know if there are any easy answers.
No.
Wow, this has been a lot.
It has.
We've covered so much ground, and I feel like we've only scratched the surface, to be honest.
Yeah, we've just started to kind of peel back the layers of the onion here.
Totally. But as we start to wrap up our deep dive here, what would you say, like, as a key takeaway, what should people be thinking about in terms of AI and all its implications?
I think it's all about staying informed, engaged, and thoughtful. Like, don't just take everything you hear about AI at face value, you know?
Yeah, be critical.
Yeah, be critical, ask questions, consider different perspectives,
Love it.
and, you know, don't be afraid to, like, have those sometimes difficult conversations about what this technology means and what we want it to look like.
Absolutely, because It's going to impact all of us.
It will, for sure.
This has been an incredible, incredible conversation.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for taking this deep dive with us today.
Yeah.
It's so clear that AI is completely transforming the world around us at lightning speed.
It really is.
And it's up to all of us to kind of stay on top of it and really think critically about where we want this all to go.
We're all in this together, right?
We are all in this together, that's right. Thank you to everyone for joining us for this incredible deep dive.